Hi everyone, my name is Ella Swagger, and I'm a current junior at Randolph-Macon College. I recently finished an internship at Latin American News Digest, which is a news digest that takes articles from diverse publications across Latin America, aggregates them, and publishes them, or publishes summaries of them in English with a link to the original article. So my internship at this organization had the title of writing intern. And what this means is each week, I was responsible for reading about 5 different articles that were all in Spanish and then summarizing them in English. So I had 2 supervisors in this role. The first was Dr. Green, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Digest. So every week, usually on Tuesday, Dr. Green would send me a Word document with about 5 articles that I had to read and summarize for him by Friday. Then occasionally Dr. De Jong, who was my second supervisor in this position, would send me feedback on my work. And Dr. De Jong works full-time as a professor of Spanish, but part-time she works as an editor at the Digest. Now, I really enjoyed this work for multiple reasons. The first of which is that it really improved my writing skills. Just like different disciplines in college have different writing formats, I also learned a new style of writing working at the Digest. So my job was not to add any analytical lens or any critique to the articles that I was summarizing. I was truly supposed to just read the articles in Spanish, then summarize them in English. Now, to make sure that I didn't add any of my own bias into this work, I had to be very careful to use the language that the original article wrote the piece in. So I'd be very careful not to add adjectives or nouns or any framing because it's really important in the news industry not to introduce your own bias in this way. Also, this was the first time that I've been asked to write kind of summaries of just single articles. Often in college, you're supposed to kind of aggregate a variety of sources, see how they inform one another, critique one another, and then go from here. Another key difference of this work is that it's very straightforward. Because I was writing summaries, they were supposed to be very to the point, not use fluffy language, and this is something that's very different, especially from the humanities papers I've written in college. Now, in addition to improving my writing skills, I really enjoyed the other knowledge that I gained throughout this internship. First and foremost, by reading news publications from out Latin America, I learned a lot about the politics, culture, economics, and art of these diverse countries. Now, in the United States media, it's not that we never hear about other countries, but we really only hear about crises, wars, natural disasters, a sudden changing government, things like this. By reading the newspapers of these major Latin American cities, I was able to learn about the daily goings-on. For example, one time I read about street construction in Bogota, Colombia, and other times I would read about things that were a little more crisis level, droughts in Peru, uh, wildfires in other countries, stuff like this. But other times it was much more kind of the normal goings-on of a country, laws that were being passed, new presidents coming in, trade policies between Latin American countries and China or Latin American countries within each other. And I think having this kind of being exposed to these news stories that were not about a crisis, but just about what happens in any country helped me to really kind of diversify the media that I consume, to have better media literacy, and to really kind of challenge this ethnocentrism that I believe is often prevalent in US media, where we only cover what happens in our own country. So I really enjoyed my internship at Latin American News Digest. I really appreciated how I was able to hone my writing skills and my media literacy through it. And I really appreciate all my supervisors who made it possible, both Dr. Green and Dr. De Jong at Latin American News Digest and Dr. Bordera at Randolph-Macon College. So thank you all.